up, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how I got this look, this real cute marble, opal, crystal, whatever you want to call it type of look. And first I need y'all like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what other videos y'all would like to see, and let's get right into the video. So first, of course, I'm going in with my crystal clear from Valentino. And I'm just putting a real thin layer over the natural nail bed. And this is just to prevent the pigment touching the natural nail bed, you know, the colors and stuff. And help make sure the natural nail bed stays healthy. And just to put a barrier in between and kind of make the nail bed stronger. For the design I'm doing, I need some tinfoil pieces, so I went ahead and pulled all of the pieces apart beforehand just to have them ready throughout me doing the design. The colors I'll be using today is 102, 113, and Super White from Valentino, and I'm basically just going to go through and kind of do a marble, as you can see in the picture I provided before. So as I start, you know, I'm just grabbing some of the colors. Sometimes I'll mix them, sometimes I won't. It just depends what color I feel is needed within the mix. And you did see me wipe some off, and that's because you do just want to take a little tiny bit. You don't want to take too much because it could get a little bit too messy, and less is always more. Remember that. So I'm just applying the colored acrylic in the position that I want it to go. And then you'll see me start to add the tinfoil pieces around the edge with my acrylic brush. And then I'll switch from using my tweezer because the acrylic brush does get the tinfoil stuck to the little tray that I have it in. And then also the tweezers doesn't allow the tinfoil to stick to the nail. So you'll see me switch like from brush to tweezer throughout the process because the brush applies, you know, the liquid so that the tinfoil can stick, but the tinfoil picks a foil up easier. So it's just back and forth what you'll see me do. And I basically just do the same thing to all of the rest of the fingers. And I kind of just keep the fingers close together so I can see where I want the pattern to go, because from the pictures, you can see that the pattern is kind of like traveling throughout the fingernails, like it's connecting from finger to finger. So I just kind of make sure that I stay on top of that. This was my first time doing a set like this, so one tip that I would give is if you're gonna do a set like this where it's all clear and it's, you know, only a certain color on a part of the nail, make sure that you're covering the free edge part, because once I was done, you could really see the free edge and it kind of messes up the design, you know, the look of it. So you just want to make sure that you're at least somehow covering the free edge just to get that out of the picture. Here you'll see me wipe my brush with an orange wood stick, and this is just to get any extra acrylic that got stuck in my brush out, just to maintain my brush being clean. You'll also see me fill my cup up with some more monomer, because you always want to make sure your cup is filled so that your brush is covered in monomer when you dip it in. And that is because that also can mess up your bead if there's not enough liquid, which will mess your application up, as well as if there's any acrylic stuck in your brush. It'll mess your application and the bead and everything else up. So you just want to make sure everything is clean and good. And of course, once I'm done with the acrylic design, you know, the pigments and the foil and everything, I go through and encapsulate it with a clear, the crystal clear from Valentino. And this, I'm just basically treating it as if it's a regular application. And I'm just starting from the bottom and working my way upwards. And of course, you want to keep the fingernail pointing downwards so that the acrylic can kind of pull itself down, you know, let gravity work, and that'll allow the application to be smooth. Once you get to the cuticle area, you don't want to put it directly at the cuticle. You want to put a little bit below the cuticle, and then kind of push it up in towards the cuticle. So you don't want the cuticle area to be too thick. You want to make it seem as if it's actually growing out of that area. And then of course, pull the acrylic downwards and let it work down, and that'll create your apex. And then you want to do this on all of the other fingers. You'll actually see me wipe the edges with my fingers, and that's because I just feel like this helps me maintain the shape a little bit better, you know, better than the brush. And you'll also see me kind of look at it towards the side. This is just to maintain my application, you know, make sure I'm doing good. Where do I need to apply more acrylic and so on, you know, make sure there's no bumps. Then I take my hand file and I start to shape, and you want to keep the hand file at a 90-degree angle as straight as possible against the sidewalls, as you see me doing here. And you don't want to go underneath, you don't want to go here. I'm kind of going on top, and that's better than going underneath. And then I'm going on the bottom to make that straight as well. And one tip I will give about that is, if you feel like it's something wrong with the shape, you can't figure out what it is, go ahead and file that bottom part and then see what it is, because sometimes I feel like that bottom part can bring the shape together 10 times better. And then here I'm just going off on around the top, you know, shaping, because I felt like my application was pretty good. And so I just go through, make sure there's no bumps, and I don't go too close to the cuticle because I like to take care of the cuticle area with the e-file. But sometimes if I feel like my application wasn't that well, then I'll go through with my e-file as well. But since it was pretty good, you know, I just use my hand file to clean up whatever is there. I always like to measure the two fingers just to make sure that I'm keeping the shape consistent. You know, the length and everything is still the same. And I'll fix whatever I believe needs to be fixed. Like I mentioned earlier, I like to do the cuticles with the e-file, and this is because sometimes I feel like I'm just too rough with the hand file, so I don't want to get too close because I can break the skin. So with the e-file, I'm just more careful, and the e-file takes down more acrylic. And like I did also mention earlier, you don't want it to be too bulky towards the cuticle area. Like you want it to make it seem like it's actually coming out, you know, like a natural nail. So I'm just taking down a little bit of acrylic towards that area and then filing over the top just real quick, because sometimes I feel like the hand file can leave some scratches on the acrylic. So I like to just go through because the e-file can remove the scratches, and I just do this on all of the fingers, as you'll see. And of course, I go in with my buffer, and I buff with the hard side first and then the soft side. And this is just to create a smoother surface and get ready for the top coat. This is after the acrylic, the application, and filing, and these are already so pretty. Then I had my client go wash her hands, and when she came back, I applied this regular polished base coat from OPI, and I applied these all over. And this is because sometimes I feel like a gel polish, a gel top coat can peel off of the acrylic. So I like to just have a base in between the two, and this is what I use. Then I go in with my Valentino non-wipe gel top coat, and I apply this to all the fingers, and you'll probably see me wipe the sides, and this is because sometimes I feel like a gel polish can mess up the shaping as well. So I like to just maintain the shape, make sure everything is good, and once I have the top coat on all of the fingers, I'll go ahead and cure for 60 seconds. You already know I gotta apply my cuticle oil, and I rub that in. And we're all finished. These came out super cute, but like I did mention before, if I was to do this design again, I would make sure that I cover the free edge, as you can see. But other than that, these came out amazing. I love them, and thank y'all for watching. Go ahead, like, comment, subscribe, and let me know what other videos y'all would like to see.